Welcome to Story Time with Macy. Once upon a time in a faraway town of Correttville, a little fairy named Grendalinja was a clueless yet inspiring student fairy. She was easily persuaded by trends and never looked into the world's problems on her own. One day, a wizard approached her.
"Oh, Grangelina, my name is Wizard Blackneedor. The world is a great place, but there is still much work to be done. I can help you learn by taking a quick detour."
"But I love my town of Correttville."
"Oh, little Grangelina, you have so much to learn."
So, Wizard Blackneedor and Grendalinja took off on the grand journey of IB Global Politics path to explore the various situations throughout the whole world. However, on the way there, they passed a homeless unicorn who was starving.
"Please spare me some food. I would do anything for it. I have not ate in days." "Okay, Grangelina, this is your first test. Should you give the unicorn food?"
"No, why would I waste my food on him?"
"If you say so."
They continued on their way, but shortly afterwards, they seemed to have got turned around. "Oh no, we are lost!"
"Hello, I know the way, but I'm not going to tell you because you didn't help me."
"Oh no, Wizard Blackneedor, what does this mean?"
"You have failed your test. You see, we all have to give something to receive something. In order for the world to be in the friendliest way possible, we have to find a middle ground and communicate. This is what is most important in power, which is when certain groups embrace their authority to change and affect others. When dealing with relationships with others, all power needs to be avoided to be abused. Keep that in mind. But for now, let's continue. I was just testing you. I do know the way."
So they continued on until they reached the Middle East of the world, a place where the feared International Ciders Independent Society, or more commonly called ISIS, abides.
Welcome to Syria. It's a long, convoluted story on how it got to this. But basically, some satyrs from the Free Saturn Army decided to rebel against the government. This caused a large amount of conflict. Then, the United States, the USA, decided to intervene. This started a proxy wars within the Middle East, and before we knew it, Syria was in a civil war.
Geez, that sure sounds like a lot of moving pieces.
This is a very scary place, so I don't want to stay long. But this is why intervention with groups that aren't your problem can be quite problematic. This causes these groups to put sanctions on one another, which interferes with international relations. Situations like this affect the whole world.
So you're saying that when a conflict like this occurs, a country's sovereignty and legitimacy is threatened then?
Exactly. So take this group called Hezbollah. The U.S. does not recognize this group as completely legitimate, but a definite threat. Syria wants to deal with them themselves, but the U.S. wants to take this situation over. But that would threaten its sovereignty.
I see. Now let's get out of here. I'm scared. So Grendalinja and Wizard Blackneedor continued on their path. They were happily going along when they reached the Trail of Time.
This is the Trail of Time, which starts at the beginning of life and ends, well, now. It is very scenic and has lots of interesting markets on the way.
They advanced once again, going through vendors that sold anything from woven skirts to spacecraft. Wait, Wizard Blackneedor, didn't we just see that stand with the same scarves back in the 1200s area?
Yes. Welcome to the Mystical Industrial Complex, sometimes called the Military Industrial Complex by humans. This is very predominant in your town of Correttville.
Not Correttville! I thought it was perfect there!
Sadly, it isn't. Basically, technology can peak at a certain point of time for a product, yet the government will keep paying for different versions of it only for capitalistic and corrupt-like endeavors. It is unhelpful, unrighteous, and it hurts relationships with other governments.
That's horrible! What a waste! Let's keep moving. They ventured forth for a little bit longer until they reached the Arctic island of Leonardo di Cyclopsio. The handsome yet charming Cyclopses stood.
This is always a good place to take a little tour of. I hear the Cyclops Climate Change Company gives great tours. Let's go!
As the ruggedly handsome Cyclopses took them around the island, they talked about the inevitable truth about global warming and what it has come to. So you see here, little fairy, at the rate we are using materials, we are killing the earth. This used to all be ice. We need to be sustainable. Our ocean levels are rising, storms are increasing, and creatures like ourselves are dying. Oh my goodness, that's horrible. I didn't have any idea.
Lots of markets and politicians dislike this because it messes with the economy, because the normal means of products are causing this. So it is up to us to change it. If throughout the world we globalize everything to be renewable and we are conscientious about our consumerist choices, our future generations could live better lives.
This needs to change right now. I'm going to make moves starting in my very own town.
That's the spirit.
After being terrified about the state of nature, they ventured out to their next location, the Democratic Republic of the Centaur, commonly called the DRC.
Hey, Grangelina, do you see those child centaurs over there?
Yeah, oh my, are they mining? But they're so young. Mr. Blacknidor, wherever could we be?
The Democratic Republic of the Centaur. This place has the potential to be absolutely amazing. Its natural resources are so abundant. Yet, corruption and problems with Rwanda have made this state full of inequality. Gangs and unfair child employers fuel this country, making things unequal and wrong.
Had no idea. I guess that's why awareness is so important.
Exactly. Overall, the DRC is just behind in its development. It is using practices and ways of government that most places have gotten over. It's grave to the world. But look at the time. We should go.
The two left the DRC and continued walking down their IB Global Politics path to their next stop. This spot was a little unusual because it was only a courthouse. Yet, when they walked in, some of the world's most famous leaders were there, including Aung San Suu Kyi, Dick Cheney, and his pal Donald Rumsfeld, Harry Truman, and Rocco Maladic. Blacknidor, I actually know some of these people. Where are we?
We are at the Grand Court of the World. It was found that a lot of world leaders violated human rights. Let's take a look at the famous leader, the Duck, Donald Rumsfeld. He knew about the horrible war crimes that took place while the United States was at war with Iran and didn't fix it.
That is far from justice for those 4 alleged war criminals. No wonder he is here. I would personally fight them for their liberty. He should get locked up.
Calm down, calm down. It isn't fair. Human rights were definitely violated. But we are working for a better future. In fact, the future is shown right down the street. Let's go!
And with that, they continued down the path when they saw a crumpled up sheet of paper on the ground. Cultural relativism?
I'll get to that soon. But now, look, we're in the snake Somaliland. Here, women and girls are looked down on. They usually can't have normal jobs or life, and they have to turn to other forms of money making, usually by force.
That's horrible! Where are the women's rights?
Well, certain NGOs are working together to rise up women with education. It's a great program. See, look over there. Organizations like New Light are helping women from being oppressed. Programs like that make this gender gap decrease. But that's where cultural relativism comes in. This system, right or not, is part of their culture. Is it our place to place our views over theirs?
I guess not. Well, at least there's some movement behind this issue to resolve it. But there's definitely a lot more that needs to be done. I'm sure Somaliland isn't the only country that does these horrific things.
You're right.
They left Somaliland and continued to their last spot, North Korea, where every day could be a nuclear war.
Ah, the ever so famous North Korea. Let me give you a bit of background. The NIFs decided to get some nuclear weapons. This threatened other countries, so they decided to stop trading materials with them. North Korea constantly threatens nukes, and the only way to fix this would be peace talks. But those have never seemed to work. Needless to say, the conflict here is outrageous. Countries are using too much violence towards one another.
Why can't they just denuclearize? Start using nonviolence instead and then have peace. It seems easy to me.
In theory it is, but it isn't working. But a nuclear war could kill us all, so it is important that we all strive to get a solution for this. We have to work together, compromise, and keep the people's rights in front of others' reputation and NGOs.
Wow, you're so right. We can so easily get wrapped up in our own little bubble and be ignorant to these things in the road that need to be improved. I hate to say this, but I'm going to be late for a meeting. I think I need to go home.
I understand, but I want to show you one more spot. It's on the way home though. Don't worry.
They continued on their path again. A little bit ahead of them, there was an island and a bunch of water.
Welcome to Mermaid Ischias. They had a very rough past here, but they got through it. They took advantage of what they had and correctly used international relations to create equality and peace. They aren't fighting because they always find a middle ground. Although they have problems, they don't result in war but instead use peace to get through it.
I think I should change my town of Correttville to something like Mermaid Ischias. So, for one last time, Wizard Blackney and Grangelina went down their IB global politics path. Finally, they reached Corruptville. I learned a lot today. Mainly, I learned that regulation, persistence, not accepting what is told to be non-reversible, to be fair to all, and that you have to give to get is important. This has been an eye-opening journey. Thank you, Wizard Blackney.
'Twas my pleasure.
I'm going to make Corruptville a little less corrupt. The end.